Hey guys, this is 310 here, bringing you guys another tutorial. If you guys haven't checked out my Captain America tutorial series, please go check that out. Anyway, today we'll be creating Thor's hammer. So this is a 3-part series, so please tune in for the next one. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into this. Alright, so we'll just start out with the new default scene. And we can delete the camera and the lamp. Alright, so as I said, this is a 3-part series, so this is part 1. In part 1, we'll be creating Thor's, hammer, the actual hammer. In the second part, we'll be creating the part where we hold the hammer, and then in the third part, we'll be adding the material for it. So this is a very rare thing to do, but we'll be keeping this default cube because this is the closest default mesh Blender gives us to create this Thor's hammer. Alright, so let's just move this up. Let me just turn on my screencast keys. Alright, anyway, we can go to numpad 1. This is front view, and just press G, Z, and Control, and just move that up here. Alright, so now let's start working on the hammer. So the hammer isn't this cube-like. So we're just going to go into edit mode. You want to go into face mode, 1, and move this down, G, Z, and Control. So about this looks good for me. Alright, but the front view isn't all we need. So now if we go into the side view, you can see that it still looks like kind of cube. The only from this angle it looks good, but from the perspective view, you can see that it just looks like you just pulled this cube down, which we did. So now we're just going to take this face right here, go into numpad 1, and also select this face, numpad 1, S, X, Control, and just move this in, cause you just select these two faces, numpad 3, S, X, scale this in, S, Y, sorry. Alright, so yeah, this looks good. Alright, so now you can see that Thor's hammer shape coming. So I think I want to tweak this a bit more. It's too thin for me, so let me just move that out a bit. Alright, I think this is looking good for me. Alright, so this is I guess the pure cube form of the hammer. So to make it more Thor hammer like, we're just going to go into edge select and select these. I guess just press A, and then if you press Control B, which is the bevel tool, you can see now that you've created that you added 2 edges in where there were only 1. So you want to scale this in quite a bit. Just move your cursor towards the center. Away from the center, and just this looks good for me. Alright, so it's not completely, it's like a blunt edge. Alright, so yeah, this is good for me. Or maybe, I don't want that much. Alright, maybe about here. This is good. Alright, so now we are going to go back to the face select and Alt left click to select these middle faces, and then we're just gonna hit E, right click, S, Shift X, and just scale it up, not too much. So this is the main part of the hammers. This gives that distinction. Alright, so now we're going to add edge loops. So what edge loops, you can add an edge loop by using Control R, and this should add an edge loop wherever, and you can move it after left clicking. You can move it wherever you want. Alright, so what you can also do is not only add one edge loop, but you can add multiple. So we'll be using this idea when we're creating the where Thor holds his hammer. Anyway, so this will be the bottom of our the hammer. So what we're gonna do is press Control R, and then rotate once, and then left click. So now now we can define where we want these edges to be. So we're just gonna press S and X. And if this happens to you, this just means these edges are crossing each other. So we can just scale them in, and it should come back to normal. Anyway, about this is, yeah. Alright, so this is good. And then I can just do one more, and S, X, and just scale that, not too much. Alright, so yeah, this looks good. Anyway, so what we're doing here is we're gonna go back to face select these faces, same with this one, the other side as well. And there's this, I guess it's not exactly a dent, but there's this thing where you on the bottom of the mesh where it kind of, the mesh goes in. So that's what we're creating here. So we'll create this mesh in, but you can see there's a problem because it's when we're scaling it in, it's not actually, when we're extruding, it's not actually scaling it in. So we're just gonna press S and to scale that in. But we do not want it in the X. So Shift X. It should make that better. Alright, not too much. Yeah, this looks good. Alright, yeah. So now we've created the bottom part. Now we're just going to add this thing on the top edge here. This edge here, there'll be this, I'm not exactly sure what to call it, so maybe I can show you. So basically what we're going to do is just add an edge loop, 2 of them actually, and for, just gonna add this right here. Alright, then we're gonna go to vertex, take these two, SX, just scale that out. So and then we can go back to our face select and select this top faces and then this face right here. And if we press E, we don't want to scale it too much, but this is, I think this is good enough for me. Alright, so there's this small, basically there's this small extrusion out from the top edge here. So we've created this thing on one side, but on the other it's not there. So to do this, we're going to use something called the mirror modifier. So to use that, we actually do not need half of this mesh. So make sure you know which side your extrusion is. Press go back into edit mode and press 7. So I know my extrusion is on this side because you can see there's this small extra on this side which is not there on the other side. So we're just gonna press Control R, left click, and we don't want it to move anywhere. So at the default, it will be stuck at the center. So just right click, it'll go snap to the center. Alright, so now I'm gonna go into wireframe, Z, and then use box select, so B, and select everything on that side because we don't, and then we're gonna just delete it. So now we have half of our hammer. So then if we go to our modifier tab, and if you go down on generate, and you'll see something called mirror. So right now when you press on mirror, you don't see any change, and that is because we're on the wrong axis. So in the axis inputs on the left, you'll see it's check marked on X. that's not what we want. We want it on Y. And if you check mark Y, you'll see that it mirrors the half of the mesh we had. So, alright, so this is one thing, but on top of that, if we move anything on this mesh, on this side, it will move on this side as well. So, it's a really handy modifier to use. Alright, so now we just have some more things to work on. Alright, so the first thing is we're going to work on the top. So on top of Thor's hammer, there's this like circle thing. So to make that, we are going to actually create a cylinder. So when in edit mode, we press Shift A, and you'll see some meshes available. So not all meshes will work, only some. So the good thing is the cylinder is one of these meshes. So we're just gonna go ahead and click on cylinder, and you can clearly see that it's way too big. So we're just gonna scale this in until we get the proper size, GZ. So we want it on top. So you might want to go to wireframe so you know exactly, and numpad 1, which is front view, to see how close you want it to be. Alright, so I think that this is good. And now I can just add an edge loop, go down. You want it to be almost perfect. So you can always GZ. So you want it almost exactly on that line. If you can never get it exactly on the line, but try your best. Alright, so back to solid. And if we go back to face select, we can go into wireframe and just press C and select all these faces which are on top of what we selected here. Alright, and we can just delete these faces. So right now we want to go back to edge select, alt left click these faces, and actually go a bit higher than what we have the hammer at, just a bit. So that small case is good. And then we can press F. So this should create a face, which we didn't have because we deleted all faces connected to those faces. Alright, so now we can add a bit more design to this, because this alone, we might want to move it up a bit more too. Not too much. Okay, so now you can see the hammer here, but you want to add some more design to this. So what we're going to do is just press I, invert, and just keep on going down until we are at the center of the circle. Alright, so this is good for now, and you guys are going to hate me for this, but we are going to go, now after doing this, we are going to go into face select and select alternating faces. This is very tedious. So you can also just select faces like this quickly. But this is gonna take some time, so yeah, I'll see you when I'm done. Alright, finally finished. Took me a long time. Anyway, you can just extrude what you have. Alright, so we're gonna have to restart, but I realized that we're going to have to restart the circle. So basically, what I just did is I just deleted that face on top and took out that, and then I applied the mirror modifier. So the problem was that the mirror modifier was affecting what we just clicked on. So this time we won't make it that small. So I'm thinking we can say F, then I, maybe like this big, I maybe like that. So it won't take as long as it did last time, because I'm really like, this is just, yeah. I think the mirror modifier would affect it like that. Anyway. Alright. So now just do that all over again. Which is really painful. Oh, that hurt. Okay. Well, I'll see you guys when I'm done. Alright, so I am finally done. So now just extrude that out, and yeah, you've created that design on the top, and you've basically completed modeling Thor's the hammer part of the hammer. It doesn't make any sense, but it will. So thank you for watching, and you guys please check out the next one if you want to complete this hammer. And so yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.